flawless victory.
Hey guys, Mono here, and today I have some secret unannounced changes that have made it into the game in the last few patches and have not been listed in the patch notes. Now, why aren't they listed in the patch notes? I don't know. This has unfortunately been some sort of a trend in Helldus where a lot of changes go unannounced or unlisted in the patch notes. Off the top of my head, I can remember the time when they nerfed the running speed and that was unlisted, and also the time when they made it so artillery no longer destroyed garrisons. I'm pretty sure that was not in the patch notes either. In any case, I found out some of the changes, so I'm gonna share them with you. Most of them regard map changes. Some of them were introduced in Update 11 regarding Omaha Beach, and others were introduced in this latest patch 17, so let's go over them. But before that, I want to give a big shout out to everyone that is a YouTube member of the channel. Thank you very much for supporting, and thank you to my Patreon subscribers as well. I will do a revamp of the whole membership and Patreon thing to streamline it a bit and make sure that I can actually deliver on the promises on those membership programs. I think I was over ambitious on many of them, so I apologize for that. Also, thank you very much to the GOF guys, Gary's OnlyFans, which is by far the best Helldus team name. They lent me a server where I could shoot these things because Terry's creation server was down. Also, shout out to Terry, thank you very much, because we did get the server up and running and half of the footage is filmed there, so thank you guys. So I'm gonna start off by talking about Omaha, which was changed back in Update 11. Some of the strong points were modified to make them more balanced, and there are some tweaks to the overall landscape and stuff like that. So the big changes are Vierville-sur-Mer. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that, I probably am. The strong point for that was at the town crossroads, which was very near the front line. That's been moved back to the church area, which is further back, and so now it's in the middle of the sector, allowing for a more balanced engagement. It allows allies to flank, but it also gives the Germans some more breathing room, which was a problem with the previous strongpoint being so far in the front lines. Artillery battery also saw some changes. It used to be in the back of the sector, making flanking absolutely impossible for the allies. Now it's moved into the center of the sector, so the four squares, that make the grid sector, basically, it's moved in to the center. However, the minimap has not been updated with this change, and it still shows the radar as being much further back than it actually is now. Hopefully we will see that fixed in a later update. But yeah, artillery batteries being completely changed. It used to be this hill with the radar on top of it. Now it's this ground level area with the radar and some trenches around it. It makes for a much better point to fight over, though I did like the more cinematic, if you will, look of the previous point. I just wish they had retained the hill itself and the overall design of the area, but just maybe pushed it further down in the center like this is right now. But overall, it is a very good change because artillery battery was notorious for being almost impossible to cap if the defensive team built any sort of defenses. So yeah, it's a good change. West Vierville, which is the top middle strongpoint, also got a tweak. Its strongpoint area has been moved slightly to the north, though I believe that happened before Update 11, but I'm pretty sure that went undocumented as well, so I figured I'd include it. Most other strongpoints also saw some changes. Rear battery is a good example. The barn got rotated 90 degrees. And there's been a few modifications in terms of the buildings and the overall layout. The hedgerows aren't as long as they used to be. They've been cut up, so you can now get into the point more easily. There's a bit more cover around it, making for a more balanced engagement as well. Overall, all of these changes are looking to make these points a bit more interesting to fight over and a bit more balanced, since some of them were too closed up, making the allies struggle quite a bit to get even near them. So overall, it's a bit easier for the allies, but also, just more interesting locations to fight over, I think. Church Road, which we see right here, also got some major changes. I won't go into the details specifically of what got changed, but buildings and overall layout, that's been changed. It remains the same identity, I think, but overall, just some changes to improve the fighting over these areas. Orchard's got a massive change. There's now some trench lines around it and this wooded area behind. where you can see these logs and stuff like that. This was mostly like an open area before, just a big empty space. So now there's a lot more cover. I really like these changes. I don't know if they make it way too easy for the allies in the case of points like rear battery that was quite impenetrable before, but overall I enjoy these changes. I just wish they were documented in the patch notes, because it's really hard to tell what's being changed without being able to load the previous map. This is the Crossroads area, which also saw some changes. These debris here with the tiger and the burnt vehicles, that wasn't there before, and you know, now it's been added. And just overall, there's been some tweaks to basically everything in this map. All the strong points have seen some sort of tweak, except for the ones on the beach area and the WN points at the top of the hill, as far as I can tell. Beaumont Road, I think, had no changes done to it, though I might be wrong. I'm not sure if that this trench line with the spotlight was here before. I don't quite remember, but most of the other areas I do recognize, and I do think it's kind of the same as it was before. So that's it for Omaha Beach. Next up, we have Utah, which had some barbed wire removed from the north middle point, which is WN4. Unfortunately, I don't think it's nearly enough to compensate for the massive problems that this map has now that barbed wire is impassable. If you don't know, before some update, I think it was either update 9 or 10, barbed wire, you could just cross over barbed wire, no problem. However, that's been changed. Obviously, you can no longer do that. And the result is that both WN7, which is the southernmost middle point in Utah, and the top point, which is WN4, those have become nearly impossible to fight over once a team hunkers down, because of the amount of barbed wire surrounding each of these points. Now, some barbed wire has been removed on the Allied side of WN4 on the south side, and it's not nearly enough. Like the German side on the left side has been completely untouched, and so has WN7. So overall, like, I think this needs more tweaking to make it a better map than it is currently, because both of those points are still extremely frustrating to fight over once a team starts building defenses and filling in the holes in the barbed wire with player built barbed wire, and it just becomes very boring to fight over them. And lastly, we have SMDM, the church area. There's been some alleys that have been opened up around the point, making it easier for the attacking team to get into the church area. We've seen the church area get defended like crazy with a lot of player built defenses, and the amount of entryways into this church area was severely limited. So they've opened up 3 different areas, 2 on the side of the church and 1 on the northern side. One is that alley where a red car is located in. That area used to be closed off, and it was kind of a weird area to have closed off. That's been opened up, so you can now get into it from the main road. And on the west side, 2 alleys have been opened up. One is on the southwest side, which is a really good angle to attack the church. However, previously you had to go all the way around and come back down the main road from the south. So now you can attack through these alleys, and I think that opens up a lot of possibilities for the attacking team, so that's a good thing to see. However, I'd like to see more buildings opening up around this area to ensure, you know, a more urban style of combat that we haven't really seen in this map. It's been mostly down on alleys and roads and stuff like that. And yeah, just overall, like, not a lot of houses that you can go into, which I would like to see changed. And lastly, Razbora let me know of this change. He noticed that now you can scope in on the sniper much faster than you could before, which I think is a very welcome change, because the sniper previously took a long time to scope in. So I personally didn't see much advantage to using the sniper versus using something like the G43 or the Garand, especially in mid to close range engagements, where as a sniper you would get outshot or out-aimed, I should say, by the semi-auto rifles. For me, at least, there was basically no point in taking the sniper over a G43. I would perform much better with the G43, at least in my playstyle. Now, I guess a lot of people are going to be angry about this because, I don't know, like realism or something. But personally, I think this change is very welcome. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you do have any changes that you have noticed, and you want to comment down in the comment section to let other people know about them, then please do so. If you enjoyed the video, then give it a like, and as always, thank you for watching, and I hope I will catch you in the next one.